Namaskar, I am Parsuram Shukla, Training Associate Economics, KVS JIT Bhubaneswar. Welcome to my second video lesson. In my first video lesson of Chapter 1, Class 12 Economics, in respect of national income and related aggregates, I have discussed with you all what is macroeconomics, the basic concepts of macroeconomics like consumption goods, capital goods, intermediate goods, final goods, stocks and flows, gross investment, net investment and depreciation. I hope you have watched my first video lesson. If you have missed it, you may watch it again. The link to it is given in the description box given below. Today, in my second video lesson, I will discuss the chapter 2, some more basic concepts of macroeconomics. Contents and syllabus covered in this chapter 2: domestic or economic territory, normal residence, factory income and transfer income, domestic factory income, net factory income from abroad. The learning objectives: at the end of this video lesson, you will be able to state and explain the concept of domestic territory, state and explain the meaning and significance of normal residence, explain the concepts of factory income and transfer income, state the concept of domestic factory income, explain the concepts and significance of net factory income from abroad. The first concept is domestic or economic territory. In National Income Accounting, NIA, domestic territory means geographical or political boundaries of a country. It includes the following: area of the economic activity which generates domestic income, area within the political frontiers of the country including territorial water, ships and aircrafts operated by the residents of the country across different parts of the world, embassies, consulates and military establishments of the country located abroad, fishing vessels, oil and natural gas rigs and floating platforms operated by the residents of the country in the international water. Now I request you to open your notebook and note down the possible answer to the worksheets given just now. You see, this is the worksheet related to domestic territory. You will just note down the answer to these blank spaces as it is fill in the blanks. Question number 1. Domestic territory means dash or dash boundaries of a country. Number 2. Domestic territory is also called dash. Number 3. Domestic territory is the territory lying within the dash borders including sea territory. Number 4. Passenger planes operated by Air India between England and USA from the parts form the part of domestic territory of dash India, England or USA. Air service operated by British Airways between India and Japan. Air service operated by British Airways between India and Japan is a part of domestic territory of England, Japan or India. You have to write the correct one. The fishing boats operated by Indian fishermen in the international waters of Indian Ocean are the part of dash. Indian embassy in USA, Canada, Japan and other countries of the world form the parts of dash. Offices of international organizations such as World Bank, United Nations, International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, located within the geographical boundaries of the country form a part of dash. Economic territory is the geographical territory within which dash and dash circulate freely. Production activity of the production units located within the domestic territory is called dash. Next concept is normal resident. National income is defined as sum total of factory incomes earned by the normal residents of a country during a year. Hence, we should know who is a normal resident and what is the meaning of normal resident. Normal resident, a resident is defined as a person or institution, it may be person or institution, who ordinarily resides in a country for 1 year or more and whose center of economic interest lies in that country. By center of economic interest, we mean the resident lives or is located within the economic territory and the resident carries out the basic economic activities. Normal residents, some other points, the following points to be kept in mind: citizens and institutions of the country who normally resides in the country, citizen of other country, citizens of other country who continue to live in the country and whose center of economic interest lies in the country, citizens of the country working in foreign embassies or international organizations like WHO, World Bank, IMF, etc. in the country. Border workers who cross borders daily for work to be treated as residents of the country where they live. Local employees working in foreign embassies located in their country are treated as normal residents. Employees of international organizations are considered residents of the countries to which they belong and not of the international area. National income, note, national income is the total income of only the normal residents of a country. Another worksheet relating to these normal residents, once again you have to note down only the answer to the questions asked in the worksheet. Do as directed, fill in the blanks. You have to note down the answer to these questions in your notebook. And you have to verify at the end of, towards the end of my presentation, I will show you the answer to each worksheet. Production activity of the residents of a country is dash, that is national product or domestic product. Production activities carried out within the economic territory by the residents or non-residents constitute dash, domestic product or national product. The term residents is a dash, whereas the term economic territory implies a dash, domestic concept and national concept. You have to fill the blanks with appropriate option. Multiple choice questions. Identify the normal residents of India from the following: a foreign tourist visiting India for 1 month, Indians going abroad for medical treatment, foreigners working in WHO, World Health Organization located in India for less than 1 year, foreign officials working in Indian embassies in USA and China, which are not considered as normal residents of India, foreign staff of embassies of other countries located in India, WHO located in India, foreign students studying in India, or all of the above. And C, state whether the following is true or false. A person can be a citizen of one country and at the same time a resident of another country. Citizenship is a legal concept and residentship is an economic concept. Then the next concept is the factory income and transfer income. First one is factory income. Factory income refers to income received by factors of production for rendering factor services in the production process. It is received for providing factor services of land, labor, capital and enterprise. Factor income of the normal residents of a country is included in the national income. Examples of factor income: rent, wages, interest and profit. Factors of production are the primary inputs which are needed to produce goods and services. They are broadly categorized under 4 heads: land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. And these 4 factors of production, they get the factor payment for their factor services into the production process in the form of rent, wage, interest and profit. And these 4 factor incomes are the factor income, and this factor income of normal residents of a country is included in national income. Then the next concept is transfer income. It refers to income received without rendering any productive service in return. It is a unilateral or one-sided concept. It is not included in national income. This is very important. Transfer income is not included in national income as it does not reflect any production of goods and services. It can be received either within the domestic territory of a country or from abroad. Examples, some of the examples of transfer income: old age pension, scholarships, unemployment allowance, etc. These are the examples for households. Household receives this old age pension, scholarships and unemployment allowance from the government. Taxes received by the government are the transfer incomes of the government. They are received without providing any productive service in return. Similarly, subsidies paid by subsidies paid by the government are transfer payments of the government. Then once again another worksheet relating to factor income and transfer income. You see the worksheet and note down the possible answer in your notebook. Fill in the blanks with appropriate answer. Factor income is dash, earned income or unearned income. Factor income of normal residents of a country is included in the dash. Factor income, factors of production are the primary inputs and are broadly categorized under 4 heads. Fill the blanks only. Then number 4, transfer income is a dash, earned income or unearned income. Transfer income is not included in dash as it does not reflect any production of goods and services. Rent is a dash, old age pension is a dash, taxes received by the government are the dash of the dash. Subsidies paid by the dash are dash of the government. Gifts received by the households are dash. Classify the following as factor income or transfer income. Out of these you have to classify which one is factor income and which one is transfer income. Unemployment allowance, salary received by Rakesh from a company, financial help to earthquake victims, compensation received from the employer, claim received from insurance company by an injured worker, birthday gift received from a friend, bonus received on Diwali. Next concept is domestic factor income. Next concept is domestic factor income, that is otherwise known as net domestic product at factor cost, NDP at factor cost. Net factor income generated within the domestic territory of a country in the form of rent, wage, interest and profit during an accounting year is known as domestic factory income. The components of domestic factory income: compensation of employees, income from labor, operating surplus, income from property and entrepreneurship, that is rent, interest and profit, mixed income of self-employed, that is mixed in terms of wage and non-wage income. NDP at factor cost, that is domestic factory income, is equal to compensation of employees, that is number 1 point, operating surplus, that is number 2 point, and mixed income of the self-employed, that is number 3 point. Then the next concept is net factory income from abroad, that is NFIA in short. NFIA or net factory income from abroad refers to the difference between factory income received from the rest of the world and factory income paid to the rest of the world. NFIA is equal to factory income earned from abroad minus factory income paid abroad. Factory income from abroad is the income earned by the normal residents of a country from the rest of the world, that is ROW, in the form of wages and salaries, rent, interest, dividend and retained earnings. Factory income to abroad is the factory income paid to the normal residents of other countries, that is non-residents, for their factor services within the economic territory. Significance of net factory income from abroad. It is significant to differentiate between domestic income and national income. If you know net factory income from abroad, then you can find out the domestic income as well as the national income. In practical estimates, domestic income is estimated first and then the national income is derived from the domestic income in the following manner. National income is equal to domestic income plus factory income from abroad due to contribution of normal residents to production outside the economic territory minus factory income to abroad due to contribution of non-residents to production inside the economic territory. The difference of factory income from abroad and factory income to abroad is termed as net factory income from abroad, or popularly abbreviated as NFIA. So, national income is equal to domestic income plus net factory income from abroad. NFIA can be positive, negative or zero. NFIA is positive when income earned from abroad is more than income paid to abroad. NFIA is negative when income earned from abroad is less than income paid to abroad. NFIA is zero when income earned from abroad is equal to income paid to abroad. Then components of net factory income from abroad. The first component is the net compensation of employees. It refers to difference between income from work received by resident workers living or employed abroad for less than 1 year and similar payments made to non-resident workers staying or employed within the domestic territory of the country for less than 1 year. Then the second component is net income from property and entrepreneurship. It refers to difference between income from property and entrepreneurship in the form of rent, interest and dividend received by residents of the country and similar payments made to the non-residents. Then the third component, net retained earnings. It refers to difference between retained earnings of resident companies located abroad and retained earnings of non-resident companies located within the domestic territory of the country. Retained earnings refer to that part of profits which is kept as reserve after paying the corporate tax and dividends. Thus, it may be concluded that net factory income from abroad, that is NFIA, is equal to net compensation of employees plus net income from property and entrepreneurship plus net retained earnings. It may be noted that NFIA is zero in a closed economy, as such economy does not deal with the rest of the world, where in a closed economy the domestic income is equal to national income. Then, as I have given you worksheets 1, 2, 3, 4 and I have discussed all the worksheets with you, now is the time to check the answer which you have noted down in your notebook for each one's worksheet. So now you see whether how far you have done correctly or you have not done correctly, you can verify. That worksheet 1, that was relating to the domestic territory. Domestic territory means, you see the red portion, that is the answer, geographical or political boundaries of a country. Number 2, it is economic territory. Number 3, domestic territory is territory lying within the political borders, including the sea territory. Number 4, passenger plane operated by Air India between England and USA form the part of domestic territory of India, because the passenger plane belongs to Air India and Air India belongs to India. Air services operated by British Airways between India and Japan is a part of domestic territory of England. The fishing boats operated by Indian fishermen in the international waters of Indian Ocean are the part of domestic territory of India. You see the red mark words only, that is the answer. Indian embassies in USA, Canada, Japan and other countries of the world form the parts of the domestic territory of India. Offices of international organizations such as World Bank, United Nations, International Monetary Fund located within the geographical boundaries of the country form a part of international territory. Economic territory is the geographical territory within which persons, goods and capital circulate freely. Production activity of the production units located within the domestic territory is called domestic product. Then worksheet number 2, that was related to the national product and domestic product, and that was relating to the normal residents. Production activity of the residents of a country is national product. It was, the option was national product or domestic product. It is national product. Production activities carried out within the economic territory by the residents or non-resident constitute domestic product. The term resident is a national concept, whereas the term economic territory implies a domestic concept. Then there was multiple choice questions, 2 questions were there. Identify the normal residents of India from the following. So option B is the correct answer, Indians going abroad for medical treatment. Which are not considered as normal residents of India? All the 3 are not considered as normal residents of India. State whether the following is true or false. Both the statements are true, number 1 and number 2. A person can be citizen of one country and at the same time a resident of another country. Citizen is a legal concept, whereas residentship is an economic concept. Then worksheet number 3. Factory income, it was related to the factory income and transfer income. Factory income is earned income. Factory income of normal residents of a country is included in national income. Factors of production are primary inputs and are broadly categorized under four heads: land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Transfer income is an unearned income. Transfer income is not included in national income. That is very important because it does not reflect any production of goods and services. Rent is a factory income because it is earned by the factor of production, that is landlord, for the use of land in the production process. Old age pension is a transfer income. Taxes received by government are transfer income of the government. Subsidies paid by the government are transfer payment of the government. Gifts received by the households are transfer income. Classify the following as factory income or transfer income. So you see, unemployment allowance, transfer income. Salary received by Rakesh from a company, that is factory income. Financial help to earthquake victim, that is transfer income. Compensation received from the employer, that is factory income. Claim received from insurance company by an injured worker, that is transfer income. Birthday gift received from a friend, that is transfer income. Bonus received on Diwali, that is factory income. Now the answer to worksheet number 4, that is related to domestic factory income and net factory income from abroad. Domestic factory income is symbolically known as net domestic product at factor cost, that is NDP at factor cost. Main components of domestic factory income, you see the points: compensation of employees, operating surplus and mixed income of self-employed. Operating surplus is what? Is equal to income from property and entrepreneurship. The main components of net factory income from abroad are net compensation from employees, net income from property and entrepreneurship, net retained earnings. NFIA is what? Now factory income earned from abroad minus factory income paid abroad. NFIA is significant to differentiate between domestic income and national income. Calculate the net factory income from abroad in the following cases. There were 4 cases. Factory income from abroad rupees 500, factory income to abroad is 300, so difference is rupees 200, that is factory income. NFIA is rupees 200. Then factory income from abroad is 250 and factory income to abroad is 620, so the difference is minus 370, that is net factory income from abroad. Factory income to abroad is rupees 150, so the difference here is minus 150 because factory income from abroad is not given, that is 0. 0 minus 150, that is minus 150 is NFIA. Likewise, factory income to abroad is given in minus figure, minus 150. So NFIA will be plus 150 because factory income from abroad here is 0, not given. So 0 minus 150. So it will be plus 150. Now some revision exercises. Define the term domestic territory of the economy. State the concept of normal residence. Give the meaning of factory income. What is meant by transfer income? Define domestic factory income and state its components. What is net factory income from abroad? Name the components of net factory income from abroad. I hope you might have noted all these questions. The answer to all these questions you can find out if you have listened to my video minutely. If not, watch it again. The link is given below in the description box. Thank you for watching my video. Please give your feedback to the mail ID. My mail ID is Please give your feedback to the mail ID My mail ID is parsuram.shukla@gmail.com. Telephone number is 9938649454. I hope you are benefited by these educational videos. So kindly like it and also subscribe so that the next video reaches you immediately. So that next video reaches you immediately. See you all with my next video on chapter 3, circular flow of income in two sector model. Thank you once again.